Can you please rise for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Miller, could you please call the roll?
Chairman DeMaria.
Here.
Vice Chairman Albrecht.
Here.
Mr. Bushnell. Mrs. Kiefer.
Here.
Mrs. Purdy. Mrs. Sebeski.
Here.
Mr. Williams.
Here.
Ms. Torres.
She's here. She's
Ms.
got
Maddox.
Here.
Thank you. Trying to get to my agenda. Are there additions or deletions to the agenda?
Oh, yes, there are. We have a personnel addendum and budget transfer to be added to the consent agenda.
Thank you. Are there any spotlights?
Yes, there are.
Okay, good.
We got to the spotlights kind of quick, didn't we? Chairman DeMaria, thank you, Dr. McGuirk. Other members of the board, good evening to you. Good evening to everyone that has joined us this evening as we share a few of our spotlights and recognitions on tonight. I would first like to begin with a contest winner. It's for the If I Were Mayor local contest. Madeline Kiefer, a 7th grade student from Metz Middle School, was recently recognized at the March 29, 2016 Manassas City Council meeting for the outstanding essay she wrote for the region's If I Were Mayor writing contest. Her essay was selected locally from among 27th grade students from Metz. The contest, hosted by the Virginia Municipal League, draws more than 1,000 entries from 7th graders throughout the state each fall. This year's contest challenged participants to describe what they would do as mayor to make their cities and towns great places to live. Madeline is here tonight to share her essay with us, and I'm going to ask that she would come forward.
Ms. Keeper, can you come down here with us? Thank you.
One of our founding fathers, John Adams, said, "Posterity, you will never know how much it cost the present generation to preserve your freedom. I hope you'll make good use of it. If I were mayor of Manassas, I would hold on tightly to my responsibilities of making my city an even better place to live and work for current and future generations. First and probably the most important role of mayor is to hear the views and concerns of all constituencies, the school board, city council, staff, taxpayers, and businesses. If I were mayor of Manassas, I would find many different ways to hear the thoughts of each of these constituencies. I would do this by attending many community events, such as the opening of new businesses, school activities, and family events, like the annual Christmas tree lighting or fall festival. I would also hold town hall meetings to hear the community's views on specific topics. At regular city council meetings, I would obtain more perspectives on issues from my city council colleagues. Lastly, I would bring together a group of school-aged children and members of other generations to create a vision of the future together. All of this information would help inform my position on key matters of importance to the city. If I were mayor, I would take a proactive approach in bringing together at least 3 generations to develop our local arts and humanities venues. No matter the generation to which one belongs, we can all agree that music brings a community together. As mayor, I would propose that a citywide music program be established for people of all ages to play at concerts in our pavilion. These events would both allow participants to play the instruments they have always wanted to play, while also charging a fee to bring more income to the city. Next, I would maximize the use of our city's museum to bring together community. I would think of different ways for our generations to come together to talk about their own experiences. For example, I would have the remaining World War II veterans and other more recent war veterans share their experiences with the younger generations. At these events, the school-aged children or scouts would come to learn the history of various wars and get an appreciation for what it takes to protect our country. We would make this a community-wide event during the Veterans Day week, and the generations would march together in the annual parade. By weaving together the knowledge and experience of the generations that reside in Manassas, I would both learn from all generations and find ways to bring the city's generations together to hold meaningful events and attract people through our arts and culture activities. As mayor, I would agree with John Adams about the importance of our present generations as well as those who came before and those who came after, for all create our future.
Yes, Madeline did a wonderful job. I believe we are in good hands. She put a lot of thought into that. We certainly appreciate her sharing her essay with us tonight. We're so proud of you. Thank you so much. She didn't give you a hands up or anything. Did she? Give me one more time. Okay, we're good. Thank you so much. Okay, next. The Osborne High School First Robotics team has had an exciting season of competition. They have produced amazing results. Unlike many of their neighboring peers, these students have achieved these results primarily after school and by logging in countless hours at night and on weekends. The students have been able to do this with the support of 5 mentors, consisting of 3 professionals and 2 alumni, current college students. Last weekend, they participated in the Chesapeake District Championship at the University of Maryland. 58 qualifying teams from Virginia, Maryland, and D.C. competed for 25 spots to attend the World Championship in St. Louis. The team's academic sponsor, Arlene Higgins, is here tonight with many of the students, and she will share some specifics about what the team has been doing this year. Ms. Higgins.
Good evening. I'd like to thank everybody that's here to support our team and has supported us over the season. We attended 3 different events. First went to a district program this year. So we attended an event in Northern Virginia, and we went up to Northern Maryland and attended an event. And those 2 events helped us qualify for the district championship. On the Northern Virginia event was held at Battlefield High School. We had 21 students go with us to attend. There were 78 qualification matches, and we placed 14 out of 39 teams. We were captain of the 8th Alliance, and we chose a team from Edgewater, Maryland, and a team from Charlottesville. We were, however, eliminated in the quarterfinals, but we got 24 district points that helped qualify us. At the Northern Maryland event in Bel Air, Maryland, there were 68 qualification matches, and we placed 28 out of 34 teams. However, one of the teams from Edgewater, Maryland that we chose at Battlefield chose us to be on their 2nd Alliance team. We went all the way to the final match there, which was unbelievable. And we received 30 district points for going to the finals. So we were finalists, and that's why everybody has a medal, because we were awarded those for being in the last competition. At the district championship, we were ranked 54th going in, which allowed us to participate. There were 58 teams that participated and 132 overall in the district. Our final placement for championship was 49 overall out of those 132 teams. So for our team of 35 students throughout the school, we did very well this year. And one of our mentors that's been with us for 9 years, he's a parent of a student that went through the first robotics, would like to share some information with you.
Thank you for inviting the Osborne Robotics Team, 1895. My name is John Ortega. I'd first like to thank key people who keeps this club going. The school advisor, Arlene Higgins, our head mentor, Dave Frederick, other mentors, Scott Pugmore and Dan Bray, and the 2 alumni mentors, Roland Wong and Ruby Hakara. I'd like to take this time to talk to you about about the club and some of its concerns. I refer to this team as a junkyard team, and this is a loving and dear comment. The team knows it. We've not always had the best-looking robot, but we've held our own against larger and better-equipped teams that have better support. Having talked with other teams and advisors, they've stated by looking at the size of our team, the size of our machine, they wouldn't have any trouble with this team. But in the end, they have come to tell us how they've learned to respect us, and as we've been on the winning side of surpassing them in the standings. The reason I call this a junkyard team is because of not always having the right equipment, the larger tools we needed to build a robot, or having dedicated place to work on this robot. We generally go to the storeroom and salvage what we have or take apart previous robots. In a recent district competition, as Elaine said, we were able to align with other top teams and took second place, just losing that championship by a few points. I'd like to, Will, if you could hand these out. These medals are given to you to invite you to be part of this team. We are a good team, but not a great team. Unlike many counterparts in the county, we don't have the support we need to make this a great team. We fail to get support from the school in the sense that it acknowledges as a STEM outreach club. We also fail to get support from administration when we have asked for additional resources to help this club, as we depend on mentors to volunteer to watch over the activities of the students. We've asked for a dedicated place to build this robot, as well as expanding the club to build robots after the build season. I know staff are busy, but I failed to see any members of the school administrator at any of these events, even the local held ones. Battlefield is a highly regarded team that started around the same time this club did. They have built their program into a highly recognized program. Their dedicated workshop and their other class areas allows them to build the kind of robots that gets them to nationals. The robotics class and school supports allows them to have teams that cross all aspects of the robotics program. This has led them to win many times the prestigious Chairman's Award and taking their teams to the World Robotics Championship. Why is this club so important? Alumni have gone to many elite colleges such as MIT, Carnegie Mellon, Johns Hopkins, UVA, Virginia Tech, as well as other great colleges. One of the key pieces that many of the students stated in that these college interviews were always impressed with candidates that came back to the first robotics and robotics club. Talking with alumni that have gone to the engineering programs, they've all said that the real-life experience from being in this club, as well as being ahead of students who didn't belong to robotics clubs. Other organizations from this organizations have gone on to medical school, business school, and STEM-related majors. A major benefit from belonging to this club is first gives away millions of dollars in scholarships. I personally know of one young lady that was part of this club that has gone to Carnegie Mellon to major in mechanical engineering and is president of that robotics club. This club has helped her to choose her major as well as the job she will obtain. I will give some examples of what this club will hand it to you. I won't read them all. In turn, what do we need? More school advisors that will help us burden of being at the school to allow us to meet more during the build season. A dedicated place to build and keep our equipment out as we lose many valuable hours to set up each night and the time to put this equipment away. We need support from other teachers to help build other parts of the club to allow us to compete for bigger awards given by First. As a school board, please help us get these things needed to make us a great team. Thank you for this opportunity to speak to you about this fabulous club. You'll keep seeing me because I believe in this, and I will keep coming back and asking for these resources. Thank you.
We are very, very proud of our robotics team. All of the accomplishments that you have had just even this semester, this school year, are so very impressive. And as you can hear, we have so many talented alumni that started off here as well. So we're very proud of you. Thank you so much for representing your school in Manassas City Public Schools in the fashion that you have. And if you don't mind, I would like for everybody to kind of gather together so we can get a group photo. I do believe, one of the perks that we've always had when the robotics team comes is that we're able to see the robot. I think the robot needed to be get a little bit of regeneration from the amount of competitions that they've been in over the last few weeks. So we were not able to see that today, but Ms. Higgins has told me that we can go onto their YouTube page. They've got a lot of information out there so that you can see it in action. Yeah, y'all kind of squat down there a little bit.
I still don't have everybody. I don't have
There you go. Keep coming. We're just trying to get you out the corner of the screen out there.
All right, everybody look straight ahead this way. 1, 2, 3. And one more time. 1, 2, 3. You got to see everybody. Parent pics. Everybody good? Okay. Thank you, guys. Congratulations. One more. We have one more recognition for this evening. Mr. Albrecht, you coming down? Okay. I am going to ask Robin Albrecht if she would come forward as I share some information about her. I know she's here. Come on down. Robin Albrecht, a business teacher at Osborne High School, has been named Secondary Teacher of the Year for 2016 by the National Business Education Association. This is a national award that Ms. Albrecht has received. That's very awesome. Each year, the NBEA Awards program highlights excellence in business education. Mrs. Albrecht was recognized for her outstanding contributions to business education as a secondary educator at the NBEA Awards ceremony that took place in Las Vegas earlier this month. Mrs. Albrecht began her career using typewriters to teach keyboarding, but like any great teacher, she has evolved with the curriculum. Her tenacity and teacher-to-the-core mentality has allowed her to reach 3,500 students through innovative project-based learning strategies that reflect the workplace. For example, she helped establish the award-winning student-run Apple Federal Credit Union branch at Osborne, which they have been here before to be recognized. She also serves on a statewide STEM advisory board and continues to work to support career and technical education, or CTE, programs within MCPS. Additionally, Mrs. Albrecht is the advisor for the OHS chapter of the Future Business Leaders Association, FBLA, that won the state's Outstanding FBLA Chapter Award for 3 consecutive years. Under her leadership, students have received state, regional, and national awards. Her eagerness and desire to pursue professional growth and volunteer opportunities further shows her ongoing commitment to career and community. Mrs. Albrecht was nominated for the National Award by the Virginia Business Education Association. She was named Secondary Teacher of the Year for the Southern Business Education Association in October before being recognized at the national level. Congratulations, Mrs. Albrecht. Here we go. Everybody ready? Right this way. 1, 2, 3. Let's do one more. 1, 2, 3. I got it. Thank you. Congratulations.
Committee reports, academics. Mr. Williams, do you have anything?
No report.
Thank you. Policy, Mrs. Besky?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. The Policy Committee will be meeting on May the 4th at Central Office on the 4th floor at 6:30 p.m. to work through the latest update from VSBA on policies.
Thank you. Mr. Albrecht, anything for education support?
Just real quick for the general good through Mr. Helton's excellent leadership. Baldwin is in fact on schedule, and Mr. Helton will be coming sometime, probably in May, to give us a status update.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Bushnell is not here. You have anything in finance, right?
Yes, sir.
Board member comments. Ladies, Gabby, can you say anything, Ms. Torres? Thank you very much for being here anyway. I think this might be an excuse so she can't speak, but that's okay. Ms. Maddox?
Thank you. I wanted to talk about how I'm on the Superintendent's Advisory Committee, and we meet once a month during Eagle Block. And this year, we've been talking about the Alumni Association and building relationships. We recently just went live with a form you can fill out if you graduated from Osborne between the years 2000 and 2015, because we just want to get more people connected. And being part of the Alumni Association just builds a community with Osborne. It builds more relationships. So if you did graduate from Osborne between 2000 and 2015, go ahead and try to find that link. I'm pretty sure it's on the page somewhere. And fill that out just so we can get more people connected to the Alumni Association and build some more relationships. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Kiefer?
Yes, first I wanted to say congratulations to everybody, the students who were recognized this evening. I think it shows the importance of clubs in rounding out our children. And thank you to all the folks who work with them to make sure they can be so successful in these clubs. It's amazing to hear the accomplishments tonight. So we thank you for your service to the children. And also to Mrs. Albrecht, I got tired just listening to all of her accomplishments. Feel like I need a nap after that, but thank God we have her. So we congratulate her as well. I also just wanted to say this is National Volunteer Appreciation Week. It was proclaimed by the President as an important week to acknowledge our volunteers. So in the spirit of we've seen volunteers in helping our children today, serving the community, serving others, I just wanted to say thank you. We have so many volunteers across this division and this community, our PTA and PTO presidents. I see a few out here today. Thank you. And to all parent volunteers, community members, there's so many different things to do, to be involved in our schools, to be involved in our communities. Everybody does it in their own special way and in the time that they have to give, whether it's space to be utilized or whatever. So we thank everybody. Teachers, we know, and staff often are volunteering, even though they're working hard all year long. We just can't say thank you enough to all volunteers, and encourage everybody to be a part of the promise and the prosperity that volunteerism has for our children and our community. So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mrs. Besky?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to let everyone know that the student liaison application process ended April 4th. Those applications have been received and are being processed, and for those who did put in, you'll hear, if you haven't already heard, I think you should have already heard from us. The interviews will be in May, and we will be making an announcement by the first meeting in June. The School Health Advisory Board met yesterday. They planned the wellness fair that was at Metz a couple of weeks back. I believe they said that they thought there were over 700 people that attended. It was very crowded. Parking lot was full the whole time. Takes a lot of work, and they did a great job with that. So I just want to recognize that group for that. One of the other things that I've been involved in recently is the upcoming Arbor Day celebration. This is put on by the Beautification Committee in the City of Manassas. It involves the elementary school children make posters for this, and there's a competition. Those posters have been judged, and the winners will be recognized at the ceremony on Friday, April the 22nd at 10 a.m. at Nelson Park. But it's always great to see. I went and saw all the artwork that the children did. It's amazing how talented our youth are. The artwork was amazing. So I look forward to being able to help recognize those individuals on April the 22nd. One of the other events that we have coming up that you may or may not know about is on April the 23rd, we have Manassas Reads. It is a free event. It's put on by Manassas City Public Schools, Manassas City Government, and the Prince William Public Libraries. It goes from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Harris Pavilion. This is a free event. There'll be giveaways, free books for all ages, special guest readers, children's craft corner, therapy dogs, Footsteps to Brilliance demonstrations, student presentations, Ronald McDonald, and live music. So it should be a great time and a great literacy event that I hope many parents will come out and participate in. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. We would like to have lots of people there. One of the last things I would like to congratulate everyone tonight. Maddie, I had the pleasure of hearing you read that for the city council just a few weeks ago, and it was just as good tonight. You are an amazing writer. Keep up the good work. To Mrs. Albrecht, I echo what Mrs. Kiefer said. Amazing teacher, doing great things for our students and our school system. It's always great to see when other people can recognize those things too. And then our robotics team. Every year, they amaze me with what they do accomplish, and I always enjoy having them here. The last thing I want to speak to is that this is the week of the young child. So I had the privilege yesterday of going to Jenny Dean and reading to our preschoolers, to several classes, also including one of our blended classrooms through the Footsteps to Brilliance program. And these kids are making amazing progress in these programs. They were already being able to read sight words and letters, and it was just really amazing some of the things that they are learning in this program. And I firmly believe that preschool education is what's going to help our students be able to be more successful with their education, which makes them lifelong learners, and then successful adults and productive community members. So if you see a family with young children, recognize that this is the week of the young child. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Williams?
Thank you, sir. I'll start out with by acknowledging that one of our parents in the back, well, who shall remain nameless, had a birthday this week, so happy birthday. We can guess who she is. Congratulations to Madeline on a wonderful essay, and to your family, your mom over there. Your essay was awesome, and I look forward to seeing what you do as you get older and move on and maybe become mayor of Manassas one day. Congratulations to the robotics team, our staff, Mrs. Higgins, who I think is not here, the wonderful mentors, Mr. Frederick, who still is here. You worked with them for years, and we really appreciate the time and effort and energy you put into it, and I know you enjoy it as well, but thank you very much. Helps make the robotics team great, and those kids do some awesome things, so we really should be proud of them and really should thank them for how they represent our school and what they're doing in our community. Congratulations to Mrs. Albrecht. I've had the pleasure a few times of speaking to her FBLA class, and she does a wonderful job, and I know her husband's very proud of her. So thank him for supporting her, and thank her for her wonderful work with our kids. She really is dedicated to our students, and I really appreciate what she's done for our students at Osborne. I also read at Jenny Dean. I read this morning to Miss Rachel's class, and I also saw Miss Purdy there reading to another class. So if you get a chance to read to our children, it's wonderful. Thank you to the teachers for organizing us and other folks to come read to them. And thanks to the kids for being patient with me. I don't have any more young kids, so I'm kind of out of practice. But they were pretty patient, and the teachers were great, so thank them and the staff of Jenny Dean for inviting us to read. My wife has a friend, Benita Fitzgerald, whose mom died last week. And I knew a little bit about Miss Fitzgerald because she had a school named after her in Prince William County, but I didn't know everything she had done. And I'm going to read her obituary to you that was in Inside Nova, just part of it. And I'm reading it because she has a connection to Manassas I wasn't aware of. I'm not from the area, didn't know too much about it, but it was very, very interesting, so I thought I'd share it with all of us because she had done some amazing things. The InsideNova.com obituary said, Fanny Wilkinson Fitzgerald died on April 7th, 2016 at age 85. She was born in Amelia County, Virginia on July 27th, 1930. She graduated from Russell Grove High School and received a Bachelor of Arts degree in elementary education from Virginia Union University in 1952. Her first teaching position was as a head teacher at a two-room school in Amelia that had no cafeteria, no indoor plumbing, or central heating. And being that my parents were alive back then, it just boggles my mind that there were schools like that, but that's what she did. After teaching there for 3 years, Mrs. Fitzgerald decided to relocate to make a better life for herself. She applied for graduate school but was denied entry to universities in Virginia because she was African American. The Commonwealth of Virginia granted her a full scholarship to attend Columbia University in New York City, and she graduated with a master's degree in special education in 1960. After graduate school, she began teaching at Jenny Dean School in Manassas, Virginia, which I had no idea, and which is pretty special. She married her husband, the late Roger Fitzgerald, in June of 1959. They were married for 54 years until his death in June 2013. She later pioneered the integration of Prince William County Public Schools in 1964 when she was appointed by the school board to transfer from Antioch McRae to what was then an all-white Fred Lynn Elementary and Middle School. As a result of her historic contributions to Prince William County Public Schools, the school board in Prince William County voted unanimously to name an elementary school for her. The school, ironically, is located on Benita Fitzgerald Drive, my wife's friend, and the street is named for Benita Fitzgerald, her daughter, because she was an Olympic gold medalist, who's from Prince William County, by the way. The school stands today as a testament to academic excellence. Her youngest daughter, Kim Fitzgerald Lennon, has been an educator at the school since its opening in the fall of 2008. And I read this because I love history, and I'm always struck by how much history is here and how many things we don't know about. We have a woman here who did so many great things. So if you have time, check out some of the things she did and talk to some of the people who've been around for a while, because there are things that are here that are great and special we just don't tap into. And you kind of mentioned in your essay, Madeline, about bringing generations together. One way for us to grow as a community is to bring generations together and learn those things. So I was really touched by reading that and really kind of tickled to find out that she had a nexus to Manassas. Finally, after reading her obituary and just talking to my daughter, some Faith earlier about, the school year kind of winding down, some college students who are going through some tough times on exams. I was down at UVA last Friday. This time of year with the budget, there's lots of stuff going on. SOL's coming up, lots of things happening. So I thought a good quote, which may help, may not help, but I thought it was good anyway, so I want to read it. It was a quote by Henry Ford I came across. And the quote says, "When everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it." So I'll repeat it. When everything seems to be going against you, remember the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. You're going to face tough times and challenges in whatever you do. You have a lot of things going on in school. But remember, as you face those obstacles and face that adversity, when you fly through it and fly away, you're going to soar. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Speaking of someone who's been around a while, Mr. Albright.
Thank you, sir, I think. Congratulations to the robotics team and all of our awardees. And Ms. Kiefer, I did appreciate also your speech about what you do as mayor. What I most liked about it was how positive you were about everything. And it just proves that with nationwide, all of our politicians who are fighting about what they would do, could do, or should do, it's our students, it's our staff, it's our teachers in the city of Manassas that are doing it. So, students out there, thank you guys. You're our next generation, and hopefully you'll do a whole lot better than the current lot that are doing it.
That's it. Okay, thank you. Everybody said everything I wanted to say, pretty much. Am I mistaken? Is West Side Story running again this weekend? Yes. Okay. And so if you haven't seen it, get out there. These kids are incredible. Congratulations to everybody, and congratulations to you, because I know it's always better to be Mrs. Albrecht's husband than to be Mr. Albrecht. And the same thing goes for me. And congratulations on your wife's accomplishments, and thank you for supporting her, because she couldn't do it without you, I'm sure. Okay, citizens' comments. At this time, we welcome citizens who wish to speak about services, policies, and the affairs of the City of Manassas Public Schools. Because we have an agenda to complete, we ask that comments be limited to 3 minutes. We appreciate the time you have taken to be here. We treat citizens' comments as a public hearing, and we do not engage in conversation with speakers. A lack of an immediate response to your comments should not be taken as a lack of interest or concern. Please note that matters that are properly the subject of closed meetings, such as those related to performance of school personnel or individual student concerns, may not be discussed during this time. I have 2 folks signed up, and as these folks are speaking, if anybody else would like to speak, I'd like to ask you to make your way down on this side
and Mr. Hawkins has a sign-up sheet there for others who would like to speak if you haven't signed up yet. And the first person, is it Nady? Nady? Yeah. And the last name? Ty. Nady Ty. Yes, ma'am. Come on down here, and once you start rolling, you got 3 minutes. Thank you very much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you. Good evening, members of the board. I'm just going to share a couple of experiences from why I'm here, and I appreciate your 3 minutes, so I hope there's something come out of this 3 minutes. My name is Naite, and my daughter goes to Jenny Dean, and from the beginning, since I've gone to Jenny Dean, I've had multiple negative experiences, and I've tried to deal with it in a positive manner like this future mayor. So I'm going to share 3 instances. So in the beginning of this year, I went to have lunch with my daughter, which I usually do, and one of the kids was not behaving, I guess, and one of the office staff just yelled at him and like scared my daughter. And I sat there and I was like, is everything okay? And she just yelled at me. So that's one incident. The other incident is when my daughter was a kindergartner, she was pushed and kicked and shoved in the hallway and bullied and wasn't even touched inappropriately as a kindergartner. And I went and voiced my opinion and the right chain of command. And it was kind of like my concern was minimized. And I don't even know if if it was resolved. I was told that they're going to help monitor the hallways, but I haven't seen that. And then last Thursday, my daughter comes home and tells me during PE they were sitting waiting, and this little girl, these are all first graders, mind you, forced another little boy to show his private part, and all the girls that were sitting there, including my daughter, saw that. And I called the school right away, and I was transferred to the assistant principal, and he wasn't aware of it, but he expressed his concern, or his genuine concern, and said that he will take care of it and let me know, and I haven't heard back from him. So why am I here? Why am I talking to you? Because I truly believe in the comment or the quote that says that I really can't expect a different result if I keep doing the same thing. So I'm here to implore your help that maybe 2 things. One, there has to be a way, a system in place to help administrators be accountable not only to you, but also to us as parents, especially when we have concerns that's detrimental to our kids' future, such as bullying, such as seeing someone else's private part. I tried my very best as a mother to close any kind of pornography, shape, size, form from my kids. And to hear that from her as a first grader is very concerning to me. The second thing is, if there's like a volunteer system that could be put in place where us parents can help monitor the hallways or the recess or anything that could help resolve this problem, that would be greatly appreciated if you can really think about that and hopefully help me with my concerns. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for being here. Erica Washington?
Good evening. Thank you, everyone, for your time. I feel like I'll borrow one line that one of the parent mentors used earlier. I feel like I keep turning up. I can't keep coming. I even watch the meetings when I can't attend in person on the YouTube channel. So thank you for making them available. And that hits to the core of what I'd like to speak with you today, which is communication. Sometimes when we want to implement something, we have to reach out to all of our stakeholders, both the students, their parents, our staff members, in order to be able to express exactly what it is that we want to do and how we plan to go about doing that. You end up garnering more support to be able to push it through and get people to contribute ideas that you hadn't even thought of. One of the concerns that brought me to express my ideas this evening was on Osborne High School's proposed schedule change to hybrid 4x4. I never want to be considered the brightest person in the room. I love being the dumbest person because I strive to learn from everyone around me. And the meeting that Principal Benner was going to share information with parents was postponed to later on in April. But from all the information that she made available and that I was able to find online, I had nothing but a lot of confusion. And I didn't want to appear as if I was fundamentally opposed to change. Change is how you get progress. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, but it's necessary to succeed. So my concern is that we have a schedule change that we're trying to implement with an implementation date already set. and yet there's not sufficient information for parents to understand exactly what is this going to look like. I can only imagine from the information that I've been able to pull through researching various schools that have implemented it, that the only data point that provides any bragging rights are SOL scores. And I think that's a disservice to our teaching staff and our students, that we shouldn't rob them of getting a well-rounded experience through all grade levels by saying that, well, at least your SOL scores improved. You know, we are able to apply robotics teams. You know, the All-City Band concert is coming up on April 21st. See you guys there. I just want us to, instead of deciding to put a start date on when we want to do this, why don't we take the time to think things through to make sure that we're not setting ourselves up? Because the last thing that we want to gamble with is with our kids' education. Thank you.
Mrs. Washington, we normally don't respond, but you've said this, we're being televised.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want more misinformation out there.
Yes.
There is not a hybrid 4x4 that's being implemented for next school year.
No, it's set to start in 2017.
Okay.
Yes, and that's,
It hasn't been established that it's starting then. There's still, there is a process that's being put in place for all parents, and given the fact that it's about communication, I just wanted you to be aware of that, and anyone else that's watching the meeting tonight, to know that there will be multiple opportunities for parents to ask questions, and for students. There's going to be surveys going out. There will be all kinds of opportunities. There's not an exact set date for anything.
Okay.
Nothing has been approved by the superintendent's office for an official start date.
well, I appreciate the response, because I know that's not the norm for here. But that touches upon the very point. I didn't get that information. And then the information, the PDFs that were posted on the Osborne website, that wasn't listed there too. So sometimes you can have the information, but you're not able to get it out. In this case, you know, there was limited information, but I think that we need to start educating our stakeholders so that way we don't have certain groups, that the information really needs to be accessible to a large community. Because sometimes these kids don't understand, like, what does this mean? I've got 2 teenagers in the back, and I can only hope that they're listening, but since it's my voice that's being broadcast right now, probably not. Thank you very much.
I have no one else come up. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Okay. Thank you all very much. We'll move on to the consent agenda.
Sure, I move the school board of the city of Manassas adopt the consent agenda as modified.
Motion by Mr. Albrecht, second by Mrs. Sebeski. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carries 5-0. We'll move on to action agenda. The SBA's honor roll.
Good evening once again. I'm here in advance for future recognition that we are hoping to do. The local businesses have the power to shape community attitudes about public schools, and the VSBA Business Honor Roll is a way for local school divisions to recognize those local businesses for their support. VSBA has asked us to pass a resolution so that we can honor 3 local businesses here at the next school board meeting, or at a school board meeting in May. Later this year, VSBA will publish the Business Honor Roll in the association newsletter, and will issue a news release about all of those businesses across the state who are honored through this program. And then, of course, as I stated before, they would be recognized locally at our board meeting. You have been given a copy of the resolution, and I would like to read it in everyone's hearing and name the 3 businesses that we are asking to be honored. This is Resolution 2016-04, and it references the Virginia School Boards Association Business Honor Roll. Whereas public schools and local businesses are an integral part of this community, and whereas many local businesses play a crucial role in supporting our schools, and whereas the economic health of our community, state, and nation depends on a strong public school system, and whereas collaboration between local public schools and local businesses strengthens schools and the business community alike by providing a well-trained and highly educated workforce, and whereas an excellent public school system is vital to the quality of life in this community and fundamental to preserving a strong democratic society now and in the future. Therefore, be it resolved, the School Board of the City of Manassas hereby names Imagine Design, Infinite Printing, and Micron Technology Incorporated to the 2016 Virginia School Boards Association Business Honor Roll, showing appreciation for their ongoing support of this community's public schools. Their work has aided this community in focusing on the goal of providing the best public schools we can for every child who attends them. So I'm asking for approval for Resolution R216-04.
Chair, I move that the School Board of the City of Manassas approve Resolution R 2016-04, the 2016 Virginia School Board Association, or VSBA, Business Honor Roll.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? I would like to say thank you for reading that for us. You did a very good job.
Thank you.
Motion by Mr. Albrecht, second by Mrs. Sebeski, that the School Board of the City of Manassas approve Resolution R2016-04-2016, Virginia School Boards Association Business Honor Roll. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carries 5-0. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Pre-K 6 redistricting plan, Mr. Adams.
Good evening, Chairman DeMaria, members of the school board, Dr. McGuirk. The redistricting committee began its work on December 17, 2015. The committee was comprised of all elementary and intermediate principals, a parent from each school, the acting director of transportation, the superintendent, and myself. The committee was facilitated by Citygate GIS. 2 community engagements took place on February 22nd for grades pre-K through 4, and February 24th for grades 5 and 6. Interested citizens placed concerns and questions on the Citygate software. The window for comments were from February 23rd until April the 8th. 74 comments were submitted for grades pre-K through 4, and 2 comments for grades 5-6. Public hearings also took place on March 29th and March 30th. Elementary principals are currently scheduling open houses at each school to allow families moving an opportunity to visit their schools. At this time, staff recommends Plan B for pre-K through 4 and the original plan for grades 5-6.
Mr. Chair, I move the School Board of the City of Manassas approve Plan B redistricting as presented on March 28th, if I recall
21.
correctly. 21. For adoption and, I guess, action for the 2016-2017 school year.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Albrecht, second by Mrs. Sebeski. Is there any discussion? Okay, I will. And I've said this several times, and I need to say it again. Oh my God, we're going to have to redistrict. You know, and everything was, this is going to be the hardest thing any of us have ever done. Well, staff didn't let that happen. They came up with a great Plan A. Citizens came up with a better Plan B. Staff listened to them. Nobody's feelings were hurt. When people came forward with better ideas, staff and the board realized those were better ideas, and they're being implemented today. So thank you, Mr. Aft, to you and Dr. McGuirk and the rest of the staff for all the work they did in making this not easy, but simple in compared to what we were expecting. You did a fine job and made our lives very easy. I know it wasn't all that easy on you, it was a lot of work, but the community accepted what we had done, or what you had done, with very limited changes. Okay?
I'd echo that, and we've had quite a bit of discussion on this, received a lot of public input. One of the speakers tonight quoted one of my favorite Einstein quotes as well, talking about insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. We ended up, and you're right, we really didn't know what to expect. We've heard horror stories, and the city has not addressed inequitable facilities for quite some time, overcrowding in some schools, underutilization because of the way the demographics and the community changed, a really weird transportation thing. we ended up with a safer redistricting, a safer position for all of our elementary kids, a more equitable position, a better space utilization relative to the number of students that are correct for each one of our facilities. So thank you to everybody who was involved in it. I am sure it is painful for those people that are affected, and we get it, but I think this is the better of the city, and thank you for everybody who participated in it.
Someone else? Ms. Besky?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm mostly going to echo what Mr. Albrecht and Mr. DeMario have said. Thank you to the staff who worked tirelessly on this project, who took all over 70, 80, 90 comments that came through and truly looked at them and tried their best to accommodate the things that we were able to accommodate. There was no way when we started this redistricting project that we knew we would be able to accommodate everybody's desires. It is hard to change at any point for anybody, but I do believe that this was a very well thought out plan, the Plan B, and that most of the concerns from the community were addressed. This was not something that we were not, some people thought when we had the first meetings several months ago, oh, everyone's already made up their minds. And even though we assured them we hadn't, I think this proved that we indeed had not. I hope that those people affected and that will have to move schools will keep an open mind and really embrace the change as best they can. As like I said, I know change is never easy, but thank you again to you and your staff for everything that you did.
Anyone else? Thank you. I'm going to try and get this right. Motion by Mr. Albrecht, second by Mrs. Sebeski, that the School Board of the City of Manassas approve the Pre-K-6 redistricting Plan B for implementation in the 2016-2017 school year as presented. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carries 5-0. Thank you all very much for being here, and thank you, Mr. App.
We need to go into closed session. I move that the school board of the city of Manassas enter closed session pursuant to exemption from open meetings allowed by section 2.23711, part A, paragraph 1 of the Code of Virginia 1950 as amended for the following purpose. Part A, paragraph 1, discussion of personnel matters, PERS 1516-1270 through 1516-1272.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Albrecht, second by Mrs. Sebeski, that the school board enter closed session pursuant to exemptions from open meetings allowed by section 2.2-3711, part A, paragraph 1 of the Code of Virginia 1950, as amended for the following purpose: discussion of personnel matters, PER 1516-1270 through 1516-1270 through 1615-1272. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carries 5-0. Thank you all.